What's good, everybody? It's Ultimate G-Man once again here to bring y'all my One Piece chapter, which chapter was it? 815 review. I'm gonna sit here and talk about the new One Piece chapter. Let's get into this chapter. Now let's start off. The first chapter started off with a picture of Vivi on the front cover of the page. That was really nice, really nicely presented by Ichiro Oda, bringing it down. Then we get more information about the Vinsmoke family and what they actually are in charge of, Zoro's, no, not Zoro, Sanji's dad. We figure out that he's actually the leader of an organization also known as the Germa 88 or something like that, and he's in charge of it, and it's really interesting. Whoa. Dang, my beard has gotten huge. But that's beside the point. Anyway, it's crazy because we learn about this and it blows my mind. Sanji's a part of this assassin family. I'm giving me Hunter x Hunter vibes. It'd be crazy if Sanji's dad looked like Zeno from the Zoldycks. I just imagine the Zoldycks, but I don't know. It could turn out either way. Another thing to bring up about this chapter is that you see Luffy talking to Peckhams, and Peckham's like, don't just do this crap, because we learn that Big Mom, she don't mess around, she don't play around. If you don't come to her party, if you don't come to her tea party, she's gonna chop your head off. And I was like, what the crap? Well, she's not gonna chop your head off. She's gonna chop one of your friends' head off, one of your family members' head off. Anybody who's important to you, she's just gonna, and put it in a box and send it to you. It'd be like showing y'all, how dangerous Big Mom is, and it really brings up the direness of the situation. So Sanji decides to go, and Luffy's just like, well, let's go get him, like in last chapter. And he's like, well, I was thinking let's sneak in. And then Luffy's like, I'll just go by myself with Mr. Peckhams, and the rest of y'all stay behind. And this really makes me think of not Ennis Lobby. It really makes me think of Empel Down before Marineford. I think this is when the war's starting, and I think he's starting to reuse elements from Empel Down, but he's doing it in a different way, which is good. It's still Empel Down. It still has Empel Down vibes to it, but it has its own flow. So it's different than Empel Down. But I feel like Zoro, I think because at the end, I think that them showing Luffy talk to Zoro at the end, I feel like that is foreshadowing for the future, because I really think that Luffy and Zoro are probably going to team up and go and get Sanji, and that would be interesting. That's just a prediction right now. It'd be really cool, really freaking cool if Luffy and Zoro teamed up to go get Sanji and bring him back to the crew, and they have to both of them go fight against Big Mom, and then they both team up in this new Kaido world, and everybody's all separated and stuff and training. But I don't know. It could turn out that way. It could turn out a Mumber way. Oda can throw his curveballs. He's been throwing his curveballs so far, and it's just been crazy. But yeah, next, what else I want to talk about? The ending of this chapter. Leading up to the ending of this chapter, the ending was just hilarious. It was funny as heck. It had me rolling on the ground. Well, not really rolling on the ground. It wasn't like Golden Boy or something like that, but it was funny. When Luffy, no, when Robin, Frankie, and Brooke are standing at the sunset at the end of the cliff off Zoe, they're just at the end of the butt off Zoe. They're looking off into the distance. They're like, well, we're the adults, and we need to, stand guard. And it just had me laughing my behind off, and I was just laughing so hard. I was just like, really, Robin? Really, Frankie? I was just like, well, I was about to get hype. I'm like, what's going on? What's gonna happen? And then they're like, we're gonna have to make sure the samurai don't get up here, because I'm not willing to fight the minks. The minks will start freaking out, so we got to make sure that Kinemon and Kanjuro don't get up here. And then it's crazy because guess what happens at the end of the chapter? They are all three of them fall asleep, and then you have Kinemo Kanjuro coming up with the monkey guy. I don't know his name. We still don't know his name. He's not Raizo. That's confirmed. We just figured out he's not Raizo. He's a mink, and he's going around saying Dezogaru at the end of every single one of his line. He's like Samurai Dezogaru, and he's just like they're coming, and then like he's running. They're coming after us. The samurai are coming. I shouldn't have said it like that, but you know what I'm saying. The samurai are coming. The samurai running after us, and it's just like, and he's just like the samurai Dezogaru, and I'm just laughing, and you know, and Kinemo and Kanjuro are just chilling. They're just like, we're gonna walk up in here, you know, party time, but they don't know what the minks, you know, what's going on with the minks. And another thing, other thing I would like to talk about is what Law said about Kaido. And Kaido sending his people, and that made me even worried because it's like Kaido and his people are coming. Kaido and his people are coming. Kaido and his people are coming. So it's just like, oh my God, we don't know. Like Kaido could really screw them up. Like no joke, he could screw them up, and they could be getting ready. You know, we're gonna go save Sanji, and then Kaido just comes in and just screw everything, just ruins everything. All the work, all the effort that they put into to trying to get Sanji could get screwed up. And then, like, I was just making a prediction. What if Kaido and Big Mom, dang, like, I don't know. This is dangerous. Like, they're going into Big Mom's castle, and Big Mom is that big of a Yonko, even though I'm not sure how seriously dangerous she can stack up to Kaido, who's a freaking immortal, and Shanks, and the fact that he stopped an entire war, stopped all of Marineford. I'm still not convinced on how powerful she is, even though even though Oda went into like detail about like how she severs people's heads and send them. I'm still not convinced. So basically, I give this chapter, if I were to rate it, I'd give it like a solid 7.5 to an 8. It was a good chapter, but nothing really happened in this chapter. There was no real action. It was more of like a comedy exposition type chapter. We went into different details of what's going to happen next. So yeah, drop me a like, subscribe to my channel. Oh, and an announcement I would like to make is if I make it to 100 subscribers, I have a surprise for all those subscribers. It's going to be really awesome. It's going to be really cool. And link in the description below for my DeviantArt if you haven't checked it out. Peace out. You guys are awesome. Thanks very much. Goodbye.